And our top focus on the show right now, US President Donald Trump has taken a softer tone on Ukraine truce talks as he hosted UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer. But the US President refused to give any firm commitments on the security guarantees that Europe desperately wants. Trump said there had been a lot of progress towards a deal to end the conflict in Ukraine and that negotiations are now at a crucial stage.
As I discussed with Prime Minister Starmer, the next step we're making is toward a very achievable ceasefire. We hope that that can happen quickly because thousands of young people, in this case, we're not talking about Americans, we're talking about Ukrainians and Russians are being killed every week, thousands.
But Trump remained non-committal on the U.S. security backstop that UK and France want in exchange for deploying peacekeepers to Ukraine. And that's in the event of a deal with Russia to end the war. The U.S. president said he was open to many things in terms of security guarantees, but that he wanted to get a Russia-Ukraine deal in place first.
I think we're very well advanced. I think Russia has been acting very well. We have Representatives Steve Witkoff and Scott and Marco and JD. We're all involved, every one of us, and a lot more. But I think we're very well advanced on a deal, but we have not made a deal yet. So I don't like to talk about peacekeeping until we have a deal. I like to get things done. I don't want to give it the bad luck sign. We don't want to do that.
Donald Trump further said he thinks Putin would keep his word, rejecting Starmer's warnings that a ceasefire without a U.S. backstop would let Russia invade Ukraine again.
I think he'll keep his word. I think I've spoken to him. I've known him for a long time now. You know, we had to go through the Russian hoax together. That was not a good thing. It's not fair. That was a rigged deal and had nothing to do with Russia. It was a rigged deal with inside the country, and they had to put up with that too. They put up with a lot. It wasn't just a...
The U.S. president played down an earlier rift with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky, which had sparked fears that Trump would cut out Ukraine from negotiations with Russian President Vladimir Putin. Trump said he has a lot of respect for Zelensky. In the Oval Office, Trump also walked back an earlier jibe that the Ukrainian president was a dictator without elections.
I think I have a very good relationship with President Zelensky, and now we're doing the deal, and we're going to be in there. We're going to be actually in there, digging our hearts out.
President, do you still think that Mr. Zelensky is a dictator?
Did I say that? I can't believe I said that. Next question.
This made Starmer the second leader in a span of just a week to leave Washington empty-handed on Ukraine. After French President Emmanuel Macron also tried to persuade Trump on Monday, Starmer said, "We have to win the peace, but it cannot be peace that rewards the aggressor."
Mr. President, I welcome your deep and personal commitment to bring peace and to stop the killing. You've created a moment of tremendous opportunity to reach a historic peace deal, a deal that I think would be celebrated in Ukraine and around the world. That is the prize. But we have to get it right. There's a famous slogan in the United Kingdom from after the Second World War. That is that we have to win the peace. And that's what we must do now. Because it can't be peace that rewards the aggressor.
The British Premier said he is willing to step up in Ukraine as Trump repeatedly kept on urging European nations to contribute more to the continent's defense.
I felt we had a very productive discussion. Obviously, as the President says, the deal has to come first. But yes, our teams are going to be talking about how we make sure that deal sticks, is lasting and enforced. So our teams will be talking about that.
For more on this, we were earlier joined by Dov Zakim from Washington, D.C. He's a senior advisor at Center for Strategic and International Studies. And we asked him about how Trump has taken a rather softer tone when it comes to the Ukraine truce deal during his meeting with Starmer. And this is what he had to say.
I think it is a little bit softer. I think his interchange today with Sir Keir Starmer was softer in a way than it was with Macron earlier this week. You know, Zelensky is coming into town, President Zelensky, to sign an agreement that will create a U.S.-Ukrainian facility that would be the one that would go after the rare earths and minerals that Ukraine has. Now, they're going to be Americans on the ground. They just won't be soldiers. And so there already becomes a stake for Mr. Trump to protect the people that are there. The last thing he wants is for Americans to be killed in Ukraine. So if Mr. Starmer, Sir Keir rather, goes ahead and there is some kind of agreement, it certainly looks like Ukraine's going to lose its eastern oblasts. I mean, it's hard to imagine that it won't. And probably lose Crimea as well. If there's a deal, then the British have said they're going to put troops on the ground. Nobody else has said really the same. But if the British do it, if other countries do it, particularly Scandinavian countries that Mr. Trump seems to have a soft spot for as well, and there are Americans working on the ground, then maybe Mr. Putin will hesitate to try again. And if he does, there are ways for the United States not necessarily to put troops on the ground, but essentially, to borrow a phrase from Barack Obama, to lead from behind, provide communication support, whether it's from space or from aircraft, other kinds of support for those that might be on the ground. So, yes, I think Mr. Trump has opened the door a crack, not very much, no guarantees, but at least there's some hope that he will remain engaged to ensure that Ukraine, or what's left of it, remains independent.